Here we go. We are live. Welcome, everybody. We are so very excited today. We have an amazing international celebrity DJ for you today. Ofek Gellero is known for his amazing beats and his ability to get people not only moving, but grooving and into his world of fabulous beats, particularly in the psytrance and African Brazilian tribal beat modium, which for those of you that may not know, the next big thing in the international global world of music is Afro beats. And so he is right on top of all the things that are great and new and exciting in the music industry. And he's coming to us live from Israel. So welcome, Ofek.
Hello, everybody. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hello.
We are so excited for you to be here today. And I'm going to ask you first to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into music. And then Christina will be asking you some questions and I'll jump in with a few of my own.
Okay, so first of all, it's very, very nice to be here and to go live. So thank you for this opportunity. About myself, so my name is Ofek. Okay, I'm 27 years old. I live in Israel. I live in a small village called Givat Chaim. It's like a small community. And I'm a DJ, and I'm a drummer, and I'm a producer, and I can tell about my whole story, but I can say that I got into music from a very, very young age. As a young kid, I was very hyper. Like I was always running, and I was super hyper, and I couldn't sit quietly in lessons. Okay, and
That sounds familiar.
yeah, and and I had a lot of energy. Like I always wanted to spread out my energy, and I remember that from a really, really young age, I was really into music. Like I heard, like in age 8, 7, I was hearing Linkin Park and Foo Fighters and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I really liked the groove behind the songs. So I went to play drums in a very, very young age. And from a very young age, I was learning to play drums for many, many years. And that's how I got into music. I was first of all a drummer. And I really liked all the beats and the different genres that I was learning, from pop to rock to punk rock, and I really, really liked it. I guess that when I was a young kid, so all the rock music was still very, very mainstream, like bands like Linkin Park or Limp Bizkit or even Metallica was still in the mainstream, Sum 41, and I really, really liked the music because that I was very influenced by the clips on the MTV in 2000, 2001, 2002. So that's how I got into music. I first of all
Fabulous.
played drums, and I had many, many energy. That's
So
the first step.
my first question before I turn it over to Christina is how big is EDM and the kind of music you make in Israel? Are people obsessed with it as I imagine they are?
Okay, so I'll be honest, like always, and I'll say that I guess that EDM is a very big word to
Okay.
many, many different genres. Like EDM, when I discovered EDM in 2010, so the big names was Avicii and Hardwell, and I was very, very inspired by their music, Skrillex, okay? But today I understand that EDM can be all kind of electronic music. So I guess that EDM is always big, but the genres are uh, are changing. Like EDM that I heard in 2010 that made me fall in love in this kind of music. Okay, unfortunately, today I guess that this music is like not big like it was before. Like I just try to combine all kind of genres into my own world, because if I make music that sounds like Skrillex or like Hardwell or like every other big artist, so I won't be unique. So I'm trying to take all of the worlds that I'm very inspired by, and to make it into my own EDM world, because one day I can like a track by Marshmello, and one day I can like a track by Ed Sheeran or Dua Lipa or any other artist. So I'm just trying to combine many different genres. I guess that in Israel now the big music scene, I can say, is more techno and tech house. That's the main EDM music that is going right now. But I guess that there are always people that will be that will search after these parties of EDM. Um, so I guess that in Israel it's more now techno and tech house until the next music will step.
Cool. Okay, take it away, Christina.
Yes, thanks, Beth, and thanks, Gellero, for sharing all that. It's so awesome to have you here, and just with your talent and your gifting, you have such a unique sound as a DJ that once I've heard initially from your music, that not many, DJs have developed that sound with, the Brazilian tribal beats. And I feel like, that it kind of gives it a little bit of, inspiration, I feel like, for other musicians to find ways, to have the confidence to discover what they like and what sounds they like and use, to create, their brand, as an artist. So just having some questions for you here too. So um, what is I know that you mentioned your favorite artist is Skrillex, and Hardwell. Is there other artists that you always tend to, spin to, like certain music that you like to, spin in your events?
Okay, so maybe my answer will be surprising for you, but I really appreciate top MTV artists like Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus and
Yes.
Beyonce. So maybe I don't look like maybe my music doesn't really sound very poppy, but I really appreciate all the top artists that always bring the new idea, the new music. So I can say honestly that the last album of Justin Bieber like really made me inspired by many ideas, many melodies, many new fresh sounds, many amazing songwritings, many amazing texts, and like I really like all the tribal music and the African music, but I do
Mhm.
I am trying to make my music with a bit more melodies and the vocals. So these days I challenged myself, I can say, and I started to learn piano. I'm like learning piano for like 3 months, and it's going amazing.
Awesome.
And I just believe in. I really believe in melodies and vocals, and I can say that I'm just I'm trying to make a new kind of music genre, like a Kaigo did, and that
Oh, great.
I'm just trying to create something new. Okay, like to take pop and melodies into tribal psytrance atmosphere, like something new. So
Yeah.
I'm really really influenced by the top artist of the MTV. Um, I really like Justin Bieber, as I said, Drake, The Weeknd, and there is like some small like smaller artists that maybe aren't big like those like this artist, but I really appreciate their creativity. Like I really appreciate creativity music, and that's like why I like Skrillex, because all the time he make creative music. He never
Mhm.
stays in his place. Always moving forward. Always.
Right. It's like experimenting with a different, bass or kick, right? Or, uh,
I
yeah.
really I really appreciate musicians that actually sit in the studio and make their own music, because today I guess that many DJs are like, buying their music or only thinking about the idea. And like I believe that before that you become like a DJ that is buying music or like buying ideas, you have to sit in your studio and to
Hmm.
make beats and to learn
Right.
piano. And
Yeah.
I really, really believe in this hard work. Like there is no other way, I can guess.
Yes.
I have a question to insert here. Do you start with one particular instrument, or do you start, as to Christina's question, with
Mhm.
a snare or a kick, or how do you where do you start when you are
O-
constructing your beat?
Okay, so I'll tell my honest answer, and I say that sometimes I do have inspiration from specific sounds, like a cool drum that I heard, a cool laser sound, a cool vocal. Like many times, I'm working via my Instagram and I'm sending messages to singers around the world. Like that's another thing that maybe producers doesn't like think about it, but the work is not only about the music, it's to find the singers. So I get inspired many times from vocals that I get from singers. um Sometimes I'm inspired by a new melody that I've heard, a new sound. And most of the times I don't have such a big inspiration, and I just sit in my studio for many many hours until I'm finding a cool sound. And it's okay to say that, like I'm sitting in my studio, and if I don't have any inspiration but I have time to make music, I'll get like I really like old hip hop. I like Sean Paul. I like Sean
Mhm.
Kingston. I like Ti. I like all this Timbaland style of 2010. So many times I just go to YouTube and I'm searching for clean acapellas, and then I cut some words, take the pitch down, doing reverse. Like I'm just working until I get something that I say, okay, that's cool, and then I'm starting to work. But I have like many many days that I don't have any cool idea until I found it. So I'm just sitting always in the studio. So it's really really depends on the day, I can say, but I'm always working.
So you are an explorer and a discoverer.
Yes, yes. I like to explore and discover sounds. Yes,
And we're
That's
glad you
great.
do.
Yeah. It's awesome too, like with just like, like having the hard work that you persevere and you push forward until you find what that is that clicks, that resonates with you. And sharing a bit about that, like how did you decide that is the sound with the Brazilian and trance beats? That is what you want to define your music. How did you decide that that's what you know?
okay, so I guess that that my first unique sounds was inspired by the music that I feel comfortable with. Okay, because I'm a drummer, and I feel very very
Mhm.
like it's easier for me to create groovy beats than a cool
Right.
melody. It's more easier for me. Okay, so at the beginning I started with the vibes that I told myself, okay, you're a good drummer. Maybe you can like maybe
Mhm.
I can serve a cool drums in my tracks, and like I just like I created many kind of musics. I made EDM with melodies and without melodies and only drums, and I had, I guess, like 10 12 tracks that I was just making, and I sent all of them to music labels. And
Mhm.
most of the labels didn't want my music. They answered me like questions like sorry, like answers like it's not good enough, it's not unique, it's
Mhm.
not our style. Until
Mhm.
one day, one track that I didn't really believe in, and I always
Yeah.
thought to myself that that's the most, like that's not, how can I say it, that's my worstest track. Okay, I told myself that's a really 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 bad track. And this track, a label called Hexagon by DJ Don
Right.
Diablo,
Right.
number 6 or 7 in the world,
Uh-huh.
just answered me, hey man, epic track, we want it as is.
Awesome.
And then I was like thinking to myself, what made this amazing music label that signs amazing artists take
Right.
this track and not all the other that I was like thinking that it's so unique. So I understood that nobody takes the psytrance to a lower BPM. Like everybody do psytrance as is. They
Mhm.
take the kick and the bass, 140 BPM, 145, 138, and I took it to 120. I lowered the
Wow.
BPM and I added my drums. I
Mhm.
took an a cappella from a song called Party Animal by Charlie Black and
Uh-huh.
Tiptoe by Jason Derulo. You can never guess it
Wow.
on the track, but now I can tell you, okay? So I
Right.
took those vocals from the YouTube, I reversed them, I pitched down, I cutted some words, and I created a word called D1. No meaning, no nothing, just a call word called D1. And then I just played it on my track, and 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 that's it. And I was just making many music until something caught the ears of the labels. So it took me some time, but because I was sitting all day in my studio, so so that's how I developed this psytrance house tribal genre, because I understood
Mhm.
that it's unique and
Right.
nobody does it. So I said, okay, let's develop this style and not the EDM that was already made in 2010,
Mhm.
or tech house. Like everybody does it. So you have to bring something different, and that's how I understood it because of this track, D1. That's it.
Sounds perfect for gaming.
Yeah. Right. It's really awesome too. It's when you least expect it, like an opportunity, just opens up for you. And as you keep on working on your craft and you're like, yeah, this is like what resonates with me, and it's so awesome, to finally, achieve that. Um, yeah. So like with what you've built up and what you have, what have you experienced in your life, any adversity or hardship to get where you are today? And how did you overcome that?
Okay, so we said that hardship is like sacrifices, right?
Right.
Okay.
What did you have? what did you have to overcome to become the musician and DJ that you are? Did you have to work at a fast food restaurant to save up money to buy your equipment, for example? Or, you know, did you have to take a full-time job doing something else while you were making your music at night on your own? That sort of thing. What was your journey like to get where you are?
Okay, so I can say that my journey is still happening, and the hard work never stops, and I never say to myself, that's it, you accomplished XYZ, now you can rest. Like, that's not my style. But I can say that I sacrificed a lot of friendships that I had with many people. I had many friends in high school, friends from my army in Israel, friends from my like it's called service year. I can say, like, it's 1 year before the army that I volunteered as a guide. In a place with people that has a special, like, how can I say it, Chris?
Disabilities?
Special,
Yes.
yes, special
Right.
disabilities, and like, from the place that I come, it's very common to do this year before the army and to do a serious army service. Um, so I can say that I sacrificed a lot. Like, when I was like going to the army, and I didn't have my phone on me, and I was many time disconnected, and I had many responsibility, soldiers, missions, and many other things like that. So I was always keeping in
Hardworking.
touch. I was always hardworking and keeping in touch with people that had bars and small private events and parties. And most of the time, I didn't even earn money. I just wanted to keep my passion alive, okay? And no matter what happened in my way, I was always searching a place to play, people to connect with. And I wrote to myself, like, like 20
We
page what
we call
pardon?
it journaling.
Journal.
Journal, yeah, like a business plan, I can say, a
Mm-hmm.
business plan of what I'm going to do exactly when I will release from the army, with where do I want to learn music, what do I want to learn, how many tracks do I want to produce in a year, where do I want to play. Like, I was very
Specific.
specific in what I wanted. And the sacrifices are happening until today. Like, I'm working super hard, I'm sleeping not so much hours every night, like 4 or 5, sometimes 6. I'm all day in the studio. At the nights, I'm going to play. I'm working on my media. Like, it's not like a person that woke like a person that wakes up in the morning, doing his job, getting his salary, and going home. It's not like in my game. Like, I have to work all the time if I want to achieve my goals, okay? So I can say that I sacrificed a lot, but I feel good about it. Like, it's okay. Like, I told myself, that's what I want, and I'll have to see less family. I sacrificed a lot in relationships, I can say. Like, my girlfriends see me less than other boyfriends, I can say. And I do sacrifice a lot all the time. I don't really see friends. I'm always working in the studio about new ideas. And like many Israeli people after the army, they go to travel around the world to see places, to see countries. Some of them are like moving to Tel Aviv to live the nightlife. I don't have it. Like I released from the army, I opened my business and started to work, and like that's the only thing that I
But
was
you
doing.
know,
I'm doing now.
Ofek, hard work and persistence is what Music Row teaches. And I think to be successful in any business, especially in any kind of music, that is, your dedication and relentless, nonstop hard work is what propels you. It's what establishes your credibility as someone who's serious. And eventually, that hard work pays off because the right people, like the gentleman Diablo, heard your music and says, "Hey, this is great stuff. Let's get more of it. Get that guy on the phone."
And I can add about it that when he played my song, D1 song, it's a track. It's not a song, okay? But when he played it, he said, "And here is a unique track by Gellero," and that's what I wanted, that he will think that it's unique, and that's and that made me like that made me happy so much. And I told myself, okay, you're on the right way. It's okay. You can continue to work hard. It's okay.
We call
Yeah.
that validation. It means that someone who is experienced and has gone before you and achieved great things sees that greatness in what you have created and validates it, says, "This is good. Pay attention."
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, I absolutely agree with you.
So, how do you take that into the greater world beyond your circle? Is there a path that beat maker, DJ, producer people like yourself? What are the steps that you have to take to make it go into the world, to impact markets globally? Like Berlin is a big market for music, or into the Asian market. So what does a DJ have to do to get their presence known in those markets?
Okay, actually, it's like a big question. Like it's a big question, and I guess that there is no one answer for it. Like everybody has its um, own way and attitude. And I guess that for me, like I performed in China twice already. Before the corona, I was supposed to 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 perform more in China, but then the corona got inside our life and everything changed. But I can say that you need to make people to want your music, your personality, your whole product. Like I'm a product, like, and that's how the music industry works. Like I can say that maybe in China, because they still like the EDM and maybe they don't really hear all the new stuff. Like when I arrived in China in 2000 and 2017, okay. So like I heard in clubs tracks like 24 Magic by Bruno Mars or Havana five times every night. And like in the US and Europe, it's not played anymore because it's like old. So like I understood their vibe. I learned what they like, what they don't like, and I combined a bit from the world that they like, all this mainstream old music like Shape of You song, Crazy in Love, all these big hits, and inside all this music that they know, I combine my world. I brought my drums. They didn't see really DJ drummers before, so I combined my world with with the music that they know and recognize. So I was different, but I was not so much different for the world. Um, I can say that that every market has its own rules, and if you want to get inside the market, so I guess that you need to learn it before. You need to learn the people that are the big bosses there, the clubs that you want to play, the kind of music, because if you want to play techno in Berlin, there are so much these DJs that are already doing it, so
Right.
you need to bring something different, I guess, like techno with drums, techno with a piano. Like you need to bring something different, and I guess that today, if you work right with the social media, you can connect to people that you didn't really believe that you can connect with, like people with many followers. You can just send them a message, hey, I'm Gellero, that's my music, you can hear it. Maybe 100 people won't like it, but one will hear it and maybe will like it. So I guess that you just need to work all the time, to send messages, to connect with people, to connect with people, and that's the right way to do it, I guess. So every market, I guess, you need to know what's happening and what can you bring that isn't happening there. How can you be unique? So
Good
that's my
advice.
answer.
Good advice. Do you ever collaborate with other DJs? Do you
Sure,
share? And
sure.
is there a trend in that, or is there a trend of collaboration that is evolving since you started?
Yeah, so I guess that collaborations are amazing for DJs. Maybe like in the contract when you finish the track, so maybe you will get less percent, but you receive so much more. Like you receive the followers of the second DJ that you collaborate and hold, and like all these people that follow him, and like it's a new audience that didn't know you before, now they know you. So I really believe in collaborations, and I'm always trying to work with people that can that can learn me new stuff, or that can bring me maybe I can
New
say
exposure?
audience, yeah, new exposure that I couldn't have without them. So I guess that the first steps are really really hard, like to make this one two track that people will like that's the really really hard thing. And then when like you earn more audience and exposure, so it's starting to get a bit more easier, but still hard to get good collaborations. So I'm always trying to collaborate with artists that are like one, two steps behind me, but not too much. Okay, because I need to be I
Selective.
need, I need to be selective.
Mhm.
Okay, like there is no reason I guess that Skrillex will collaborate with me unless I have maybe an really unique, amazing, one of a million track. Okay, but or that you make a really 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 unique, special, one of a kind music, or that you work really really hard until you achieve the collaboration that you want. So yeah, collaborations here in Israel, and I guess in Europe, in all the DJ scene, is like very very common. Yeah, I really believe in it. It can be
In the popular, music world, last year the average number of writers on a track.
a, eight,
So for you,
nine.
so is that
Yeah.
true with DJ collaborations as well?
Actually, I don't really understand in songwriting, but I'm always searching in the Spotify the credits about every song, and I learn about who wrote it, who produced it, and I understand that there is no rules. Like you have like hits that was written by one songwriter and hits with 10 songwriters. So I just guess that that
The trend is shorter songs, 3 minutes or under, and 5 to 6 is a minimum. Going up to like Holy with Justin Bieber was like 14
I
Right.
know.
credited writers, not including all the ghost people that
Yeah.
were involved that don't get credit. So um, I would imagine you could do the same thing in massive, tracks, but the whole essence of how you perform is you don't ever stop between songs. It has to flow, right? It has to continue.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, like I really agree with that. Yes.
Well, I think it's for people who are looking at getting into your world, coming out of a more traditional creation mode like songwriting or being in a band or more sort of uniform um, ways of creating and performing music. What would you tell them they need to know about your world first?
Okay. First of all, I can say that I'm very, very open-minded to all kind of genre of music, and I'm just always trying to be unique with my own sounds. So I I can tell them maybe that you don't need to make a song that sounds like Justin Bieber or The Weeknd. You need to bring something new to the table. So, for an example, I understood that my music and all my drums and tribal and African vibe, it's cool and unique. But if I want my music to become bigger and with more followers and listeners, and I do want it to happen. So I need to have more melodies and vocals. So now I went out from my comfort zone, I can say, like, and I went to learn piano. And it's not easy in 27 years old to start to learn piano. It's like a new language. It's notes and keys, and it's like a whole new world. But I really, really want it. So I can say that I'll do anything that will make my music become bigger, and I'll do anything. Like I'll learn piano if I need. I'll travel to the US to see new people. I'll improve everything that I need to make it better. And I think that many producers and DJs aren't really really open to criticism, I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am like, when I make beats or melodies these days, okay. So I have this 1, 2, 3 people that I really trust them, and I'll send the track to them to hear their feedback. Only to them, because I know that they will always tell me the truth, if it's great or if it's really, 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 really bad. Okay. So I can say always to stick to the people that you trust and trust in you. Okay. uh, so
Mix it
that,
up. Some
yeah,
tried and true, some new.
yeah, yeah, but like, you have to be open-minded. Like you can't make a beat or a melody, and like 3 4 people will tell you, man, that's really 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 bad. And to say, okay, no, no, it's good. Like you need to check why they didn't like it. Like, I'm not saying that you need to be influenced by every people that say that's not good. Like, many songs that people didn't really believe in became big hits. But you need to have this musical feeling, I can say, about a song. Like you asked me before, how do I decide if a sound or an idea is good or not? So I guess that what makes producers like great producers between amazing producers like Kevin Harris, okay, is the musical feeling. Like they can hear stuff that they know that people will like, and that's like magic. I can't say how they do it, but that's the difference. Because like to work here and to write melodies and the ideas, people can learn how to do it. To feel the music and the right song and the right vibe, that's talent. That's actually talent, I can say.
Right. And with that too, like with the music that you make and with your production too, do you have ways where you find singers to top line your production or your tracks, and how do you go about that scouting for the right singers for your music?
Okay, so as I said, I'm always trying to be like connected to people that are like 1 2 steps behind me, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
So my kind of like the way I am working, I get inside the Instagram pages of the
Hmm.
voice of many many countries: United Kingdom, Finland,
Cool.
Norway, other countries that are in the globe. I've already searched their singers, and I'm just getting inside the page, and I'm starting to hear vocalists that I like, and I'm sending all day messages to producers, to DJs, to vocalists all day. So like for 100 messages, 2 5 10 people are getting back to me, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I am moving forward. Like
Right.
I'm letting, like, I'm sending them demos of mine, and like it's there is no rules. Like sometimes I make a cool melody or a cool beat, I'm sending them, and then they are starting to write like a first verse or chorus, and then I'm developing it more. I'm sending them the idea. If they like it, amazing. They are writing like a second verse, and then I'm developing it. And when I produce my music, beats, melodies, hooks, I'm already making the music after a master volume. Like many many producers are like working in the old school way.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, writing the idea,
Mm-hmm.
then mixing, and then master. And I believe
Right.
that these days you need to do everything all together. Like when I make my kicks, the RMS is like super high already. Okay, like I play like even here in this project, for an example, the kick. Okay, is like super high.
Right.
Okay, it's like here.
Right.
Okay, so like I'm already sending the singers an idea that sounds good. Like they don't say it's a bit low for me. Like I'm already sending it in a high healthy volume that they can feel the vibe. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like, when DJs are sending ideas to vocalists, so they always tell me they said it's okay, but they don't feel it. And sometimes when you just push the
Oh,
volume
right.
out and you do
Yeah.
everything from the beginning, it makes the vocalist and the singers to say, okay, that's cool, it sounds good. So I get inside many talent show, Got Talent, for an
Uh-huh.
example. And I'm just sending a lot of messages all day with my demos and ideas, and
Awesome.
that's how like I get my connections. Like I create my connections with those
Mm-hmm.
singers. Um, and that's it. And for an example, sometimes the singers are like telling me, listen,
Mm-hmm.
your EDM ideas are a bit hard for us, but we
Uh-huh.
have a new idea that we started. And then they
Mm-hmm.
send me a cool idea, and I say, okay, man, that's cool. Like I'll download the stems that's on my checklist, and I'll do it. Like keep it for me. I try to bring a cool idea, and that's how I always challenge myself to make more EDM pop music. Okay, like I get a cool idea
Awesome.
from a singer that liked my sound but didn't like my ideas, and then it's
Uh-huh.
like it makes me challenge myself to be more creative. Okay, so I'm just always sending messages via the social media. And like today you can have so much information about everybody, like how many followers does they have, their email, their
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp. And I'm just sending because like I'm from Israel, and from Israel, I can say that like if you ever been to Israel before, so the vibe of the people, like you can say temperament. You know what does it mean?
Yes, their
So like
mood, their
Uh-huh.
so
yes, their
like
temperament.
Mm-hmm.
temperament. So like we are a bit more rude. Like we are a bit more rude, I can say, than European people. Like let's say in Europe, everybody is talking by email and very like organized. And in Israel, you just send the message. You just make a phone call. Hey man, do you want to work with me? Like it's
You
it's
cut
like
out
on the
all the
level.
nonsense, all the
Right.
fluffy
Yes,
stuff.
Right.
yes. Like
Straightforward.
like it's more in the
It's
face. Okay,
direct. It's very
direct.
direct.
Right.
So like many times I take this vibe that I'm coming from to to the way that I'm working with people. Like I don't start to send emails, hello, I am Ofek and blah blah blah. Man, I
Get to
like your
the
music,
point.
that's my demos. I
Well,
like your
you do
music,
well in New
I like
York.
your vocals.
In
Sorry,
New
sorry,
York, people
what did you
in New
say?
York, people are like that. Direct.
Right.
Let's get to it. You know, time
Let's
is
get to the
money.
point.
Money is time. I don't have time for this. What do you want? If I can do it, done.
Right.
That's so true. So I'm just sending messages, and like many times, like people don't answer. Like these days, they do answer because they see that I have a nice profile and my numbers on Spotify are okay. But even as a more beginner DJ producer, I was just sending messages until that one day a cool singer answered me. We made a track, we signed it, and that's how you continue. Like that's how you move forward.
Right.
So yeah,
So
just messages
Saves
via
time.
Instagram all day.
It saves time.
That's right.
yes.
Do you
So
ever
okay.
use any of the
That's right.
social audio apps like Clubhouse?
So I tried some of these apps during the Corona. I remember Clubhouse, Discord,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel today that like I have everything that I want on Instagram. But it's always good to be on every app. Deezer, TikTok. It's like it's great. Like I don't say don't do it. Me personally, I'm trying to focus more on my Instagram and my Spotify and YouTube and Facebook. Like that's the four streams that I'm trying to be more focused on. But I guess that when that I'll have the equipment and the ability to manage more apps in a good way, like to create a cool TikTok profile. Like, today TikTok is amazing. Like if you create a track and 10 minutes from the track become viral, you can become viral. So every artist have his own way. Like me personally, I like to sit in the studio and to create music all day. But I understand that these days you have to be more than just a beat maker or a music producer. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
on the social media and to
Mm-hmm.
be outside and to connect with people. And it's really, really, really important. So
Yeah.
I guess that one day I will use these apps more, but I'm just not like I I put it less in my priorities now. Like I
There's
prefer
only so
to.
many hours in a day. You
That's
have to
right.
prioritize so you know what works best for you. So any good business figures out their sweet spot, as we say, and you go for that. And then
That's right.
you can
That's
add
right.
in little other pieces as you move forward, but you got to get the main stuff down. That's what you're saying, right?
That's right. And I believe in music. Like TikTok is nice and Instagram is nice and Clubhouse and Deezer and Discord, but if your music isn't amazing, awesome, unique, it doesn't mean anything. Like I have to make
Mhm.
my music sound great. Then I can start to think about my social media, my photos. But that's the way I think.
Mhm.
Okay, like that's
Mhm.
the way I work. I guess that there are DJs, that like are buying their music and focusing more on their style and brand, and it's really important too. I'm not saying but I really believe in the music. Like if your music is unique, so you can create a cool brand and a cool style. But that's the main point. Like I really really want to focus on my music and to make a combination between many kind of genres, and then I can maybe if I'll have more times in the day, I'll develop my TikTok or my Clubhouse profile. But yeah,
Right.
that's important. If you have time, so yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Always.
And what is one we would like to, have you share your music. But before that, we want to ask you just a question too. What is one life lesson or advice you give away to, aspiring DJs, that want to get to where you are? What would you do? What would you advice would you give?
One life lesson. Um, if I'll have to say a lesson, uh, so I'll be very very specific, and I'll say create yourself. Um, like how can I say it in a good way? Uh, Connect only with good people that believe in you, in your
Mm-hmm.
music, your
Right.
personality, and your
Mm-hmm.
attitude. Don't
Mm-hmm.
waste your time on people that don't want your success or your music to be good, okay, or your brand to be amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
there is a huge difference between criticism by people that care about you and want you
Right.
to be better and good than people that just aren't good for you.
Right.
So like I can say about myself that many people that didn't believe me in my way, I just canceled them. they are not in my life anymore. People who don't believe in me, I I can't stay among them, you know. So that's maybe like a good lesson that I can give. Like, you know, I can say never give up or never stop hard work. But if I want to be specific and to tell from my experience, so yeah, just always be around people that believe in you, know who you are, know what's good for you, because you can't do it alone. Like, you can't do it alone.
Right.
You have to connect with people that will truly go all the way with you. And
Right.
sometimes you need to make your decisions and to take out from your life people that maybe was nice friends for high school or a neighborhood, but if they don't believe in what you are doing, so
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Just bye-bye. Yeah.
So we're
So
almost out of time, Gellero, and we don't want to. It's quite late where you are in Israel. So
Yeah.
would you be willing to share us a little bit from your new project so our
Yes.
community can hear the magic of what you do?
okay, I'll try to show it from here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you played.
Okay.
We would love for you to come back and have just a very specific just on your music and your project, which we'd love to come back and ask you to do that, which we can do at another time. But for today's purpose, can you just share a little of your magic with us so people can
Yes.
you've been so generous with your time and your wisdom. Now we want to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's the main point. So first of all, I had a great time with you, and thank you so much for the interview. I really, really appreciate that, and thank you so much. It means a lot for me. So about my music that I'm talking so much about. So I'm always trying to work on the new music. Um, these days I'm working on a track with an amazing singer called Jake O'Neill. I found him from The Voice too. We
Awesome.
connected. I've sent him some of my ideas. He told me, "Man, you have a cool style.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more hard." Uh, so then he sent me amazing vocals, and I got inspired. Like here, I'll just let you hear it, okay? So
Sure.
Yeah.
I hope that you will hear it okay. By the way, I'm producing music on Cubase. That's my DAW, okay?
Okay.
And I know Ableton too, but I'm trying to be
Mhm.
really, really focused on the Cubase. It's really, really easy for rapping vocals, editing. It's really, really like
Mhm.
on the grid always. Like, it's more easier for my kind of music to create my music on this DAW. Uh,
Awesome.
so like I just trying to combine country music with guitar vibes on
Awesome.
EDM. I pick myself up off the floor and you show me to the door. I was only there for a couple of hours, but you don't want no more. I was falling like the leaves in autumn when I first saw your face. Now I'm cracking like the waves in summer. As you can see, I have many channels. I have many
That,
channels.
yeah.
And if you can see, I'm already producing my track on After Master Volume. Like, I'm doing
Wow.
everything. I'm doing everything by myself. The mix, the master, everything.
Wow.
Got Otis, then I ain't got you and I.
Nice.
And as a reference, I took this track by Justin Bieber.
Uh-huh. Oh, right.
I hope that you heard okay.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness,
That's
that
amazing.
is so fantastic. I want to go
Awesome.
buy it right now.
But
This
Well,
has just been
I promise
so,
to make you a separate a Cubase tutorial,
production.
how
Yeah.
I make my tracks. I'll do it in like, I'll be happy to share with everybody how I make my music and how I make my ideas and the melodies. Because my music is like a bit more difficult. Like I have more
Mhm.
channels on my on my tracks. Like always around 100, 130
Mhm.
channels. Like difficult music.
it's very
Right.
complex, but you know what? That's what gives the music the texture and the richness of, it's not just a flat electronic,
Mhm.
it's got a lot of different dimensions.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can appreciate that. I'm not a beat maker, but I am a groove
Mhm.
girl. And
Mhm.
I'm just very grateful to you, and I can't wait to share this with our
Yeah.
community and get some sound bites out there from our interview to help spread the word and the joy of
I hope that the
Gellero.
Nashville people will like this country EDM. They like country in Nashville, right?
Yes.
Yes, they
Yes.
do. Right now,
Mhm.
everybody's going back to 90s kind of traditional music like Garth Brooks and
Uh-huh.
That's good. That's good.
Alan
That's
Jackson. That's sort of the new trend. But the marriage of pop and country music and
Yeah.
tracks is
Yeah.
here to stay. So I think you have a
Mhm.
bright future wherever
Right.
you go. And thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you all have enjoyed this. Can you tell everybody your social handles so they can check you out on Instagram and also where they can find you on Spotify?
okay. So you can hear my music and see my profile on the social media. You can just write Gellero, Gellero, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook. I guess that Apple Music too, Deezer, and that's the main platforms. Um, SoundCloud too. I use SoundCloud too, and that's it.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much. We hope you
Thank
have a
you, Beck.
lovely rest of your evening. And once again, on behalf of everybody at MusicRow411, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
part of
so
our
Great.
much,
evening.
MusicRow, for this interview. I had a great time. I hope that I didn't speak too much because I can speak a lot.
No, it was great.
But
Yeah.
again, thank you, and I had a great time. And I'll be happy to share with you my tutorials and my Cubase productions
Okay.
It's awesome.
always.
Thank
Chris
you
and
so
Beth,
much.
thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're